Beneath the frozen expanse of Antarctica, under more than 800 meters of ice, a hidden world exists. A world so isolated, so extreme, that until recently, scientists believed it to be lifeless. But in the silence of these subglacial lakes, life not only survives, it thrives. Antarctica, a continent of extremes. Its surface, a frozen desert, reaches temperatures colder than anywhere else on Earth. Winds sweep with incredible force. Snow accumulates over millennia, and the ice sheets grow kilometers thick. For decades, the assumption was simple. Beneath all this ice, nothing could survive. Yet beneath this harsh exterior, hidden lakes exist. Subglacial waters sealed off for millions of years, untouched by sunlight, unexposed to air, isolated from the rest of the planet. Here, in complete darkness and under crushing pressure, life endures against impossible odds. This is not a story of survival on the surface. This is a story of life deep below the ice, where every condition defies the basic laws of biology, or so scientists thought. The ice above Antarctica is not a simple frozen barrier. It is a living, moving giant. It flows, almost imperceptibly, over centuries, pressing down relentlessly on everything beneath it. This ice sheet is hundreds, sometimes thousands of meters thick, a vast frozen ocean of solid ice that stretches as far as the eye can imagine. At depths of 800 meters, the pressure is unimaginable. Every square centimeter bears the weight of a small car, crushing silently, invisibly, over millions of years. Temperatures at this depth are far below freezing, hovering around -2 degrees Celsius. Yet paradoxically, the water beneath the ice does not freeze. The extreme pressure changes the physics of water, keeping it in a liquid state, despite temperatures that would instantly turn it to ice at the surface. It is a paradox of nature, an oasis of liquid in a world defined by solid ice. Reaching this hidden liquid world is no simple task. Scientists cannot merely bore a hole, melt the ice, or drop a probe and hope for results. The lake must remain uncontaminated, its ecosystem preserved exactly as it has existed for millions of years. Every drop of water brought to the surface must avoid contact with the outside world. Even the smallest contamination could destroy delicate microbial life or render the data meaningless. This requires not just precision, but a deep respect for the environment and its fragile history. The drilling itself is a marvel of modern science. Sterile hot water systems melt through the ice with incredible precision. Engineers and scientists work in extreme cold, often in temperatures that drop far below -50 degrees Celsius, where even breathing outside requires constant vigilance. A single mistake in the process could mean hours or even days of lost work, not to mention the risk of compromising the lake itself. One of the most remarkable explorations in recent history is that of Lake Willen, a subglacial lake hidden beneath 800 meters of ice. In 2013, an international team of scientists achieved what was once thought impossible. Using a carefully sterilized drilling system, they penetrated the ice sheet and reached the lake waters, a body of liquid that had been sealed from the outside world for thousands of years. The anticipation was palpable. Would this frozen abyss hold any life at all? Or would the ice finally confirm humanity's assumption that these depths are lifeless? A frozen desert under the Antarctic ice. As the drill pierced through the ice, the team monitored every moment with tense precision. Sensors measured water pressure, temperature, and flow, ensuring the integrity of the lake. And when the probe finally entered the waters below, the results stunned everyone. Not emptiness, not lifelessness, but signs of microbial life. A world that had been silent for millennia had been quietly surviving, hidden beneath the crushing weight of ice, defying every expectation. Even before samples reached the surface, scientists could feel the significance of what they had accomplished. The ice sheet, once seen as a barren, frozen grave, was instead a gateway to a thriving alien ecosystem, a testament to the resilience of life itself. Every meter of ice above these lakes was not just a layer of frozen water, it was a barrier that had protected life for millions of years, keeping it hidden, isolated, and incredibly delicate. The first samples retrieved from Lake Willens revealed something truly extraordinary. Beneath 800 meters of ice, in absolute darkness, life not only existed, it thrived. Tiny microbial organisms, invisible to the naked eye, formed a delicate yet complex ecosystem. These were not mere survivors clinging to existence. They were active, metabolizing, reproducing, and sustaining themselves in one of the harshest environments on Earth. These microbes had adapted in ways that seem almost otherworldly. With no sunlight to fuel photosynthesis, they relied entirely on chemosynthesis, a process where energy is derived from chemical reactions rather than light. Some microbes metabolize sulfur compounds, Others extracted energy from iron or hydrogen generated by interactions between water and the bedrock below. The ice above the lake is not simply a barrier. It plays a vital role in sustaining this hidden world. As the glacier moves slowly over millennia, it crushes, filters, and interacts with the water below. Minerals and trace nutrients trapped in the ice are gradually released into the lake, providing the essential building blocks for microbial life. The ice is both shield and sustenance, a protective cover that preserves life while simultaneously feeding it in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. Far from being a uniform collection of organisms, the microbial community is remarkably diverse. DNA sequencing revealed species previously unknown to science, microbes that evolved entirely in isolation, adapting not just to extreme cold and pressure, but to chemical and nutritional scarcity. Some microbes exist in colonies that cluster around nutrient-rich sediments, while others drift freely in the water, surviving on energy extracted from minerals and chemical gradients. Together, they form a balanced ecosystem, delicate yet resilient, intricate yet stable. These organisms endure a cocktail of extreme conditions: temperatures below freezing, oxygen-depleted waters, crushing pressure, and isolation from the outside world for millennia. And yet, they thrive. The implications of this discovery are staggering. If life can survive beneath Antarctic ice, isolated from sunlight and human influence for millions of years, then the boundaries of habitability must be reconsidered. Earth's subglacial lakes are mirrors of environments elsewhere in the solar system: ice-covered oceans on moons like Europa and Enceladus, deep subsurface oceans, or even distant exoplanets shrouded in ice. If microbes can persist here, in these frozen, isolated refuges, then perhaps life exists in places humanity has long assumed were inhospitable. Subglacial lakes are not only extreme, they are completely isolated. Take Lake Vostok, for example. Sealed beneath 4 kilometers of ice for approximately 15 million years, it has been cut off from the surface world since long before humans walked the Earth. No sunlight penetrates these depths. No wind stirs the frozen waters above. No air circulates. And until recently, no human eye had ever glimpsed what lay beneath. This is not merely a frozen lake. It is a time capsule, a self-contained ecosystem that has evolved in absolute solitude. The life forms that exist here are unlike any found on the surface. Isolated for millions of years, they have diverged from their closest relatives, developing unique genetic adaptations that allow them to survive in conditions that would kill most organisms in an instant. Some produce antifreeze protein, molecules so specialized they prevent their cellular fluids from solidifying in sub-zero water. Others possess enhanced DNA repair mechanisms, capable of countering the damage caused by natural radiation accumulated over millennia. Every protein, every genetic modification, every metabolic pathway tells a story of life pushed to the very edge of possibility and survival. The isolation of these lakes also means evolution has taken a path unlike any other on Earth. For millions of years, these organisms have faced pressures, chemical environments, and physical extremes unique to subglacial habitats. The result is a form of life that is both alien and familiar. Familiar in that it shares the basic machinery of life. Alien in that it survives under conditions virtually no surface organism could endure. Studying these microbes allows scientists to glimpse evolutionary processes unfolding in near-perfect isolation, revealing strategies that life has invented when survival was the only imperative. Perhaps the most profound implication of these discoveries is how they reshape our understanding of extremophiles. Until recently, life forms that thrive in extreme cold, crushing pressure, or total darkness were considered exceptions, curiosities that pushed the boundaries of biology. But as scientists probe subglacial lakes and discover thriving ecosystems, it becomes clear that extremophiles are not anomalies. They are proof of a broader principle: life will find a way, no matter how hostile the environment. Without sunlight, the question of survival beneath Antarctic ice becomes even more astonishing. Photosynthesis, the process that powers nearly all life on the surface, is impossible here. Yet life thrives, not by sunlight, but by chemistry. The microbes beneath the ice have unlocked alternative sources of energy, exploiting chemical reactions in ways that seem almost alien to us. Some microbes draw energy from the minerals embedded in the sediments beneath the lake. Rocks contain trace metals, iron, manganese, sulfur, that react with the water to release small amounts of chemical energy. Others harness hydrogen produced by the natural interactions of water and rock under extreme pressure. These chemical energy sources, although faint and sparse, are sufficient to sustain life over millions of years. Each microbe has evolved specialized metabolic pathways to extract every possible ounce of energy from its environment, leaving nothing to waste. Scientists have long speculated about subglacial oceans on moons like Europa or Enceladus, icy worlds where sunlight never reaches the liquid water beneath. The survival strategies of Antarctic microbes provide a blueprint for what life might look like in the Antarctic Ocean. The discovery of life beneath Antarctic ice is not just a curiosity. It challenges core assumptions of biology. Life is adaptable. Life is persistent. Life can endure in conditions humans would consider utterly uninhabitable. These findings also carry implications for climate science, microbial ecology, and astrobiology. By studying these isolated ecosystems, scientists can better understand how life evolves under stress, how it adapts, and how it might survive sudden environmental changes. Furthermore, these lakes remind us that Earth still holds mysteries. For every extreme environment we explore, there may be organisms we have yet to discover. The limits of life are not fixed. They are constantly being redefined by discoveries in the frozen depths of our planet. Beneath 800 meters of Antarctic ice, life endures. Invisible, microscopic, resilient, it thrives in silence. It reminds us that the world is far stranger and more resilient than we often imagine, beyond limits where life refuses to end. And as we continue to explore our planet's extremes, one question lingers. If life can survive here, beneath crushing ice and total darkness, where else in the universe might it endure? The edge of survival is not a limit. It is an invitation to explore, to discover, and to witness life at its most extraordinary.